Hey, are we going the right direction?
I don't know. This map's kind of confusing. Wish this rain didn't come down from fucking nowhere.
Yeah, this really sucks.
Okay, let's see. The maps. God, I can't see. Stupid glasses. I guess we're going in the right direction.
Can you tell how much further?
Let's see. The X points this way, and the trees are on the map here. So hopefully this is the right tree.
Well, I mean, it is a forest. Let me see that thing.
Alright, fine. You take the map. Women.
What was this guy's name, anyway?
Who?
The guy that gave us this castle.
Oh, yeah. That guy. He gave me a moniker name. I don't know if it's real or not. I think it was Dr. Craven, I believe. Sounded like a little bitch.
He sounds familiar.
Who you been talking to?
No, I just feel like I've heard that name somewhere before.
Huh. I don't know. Well, map expert, what do you got?
I think we need to go this way.
So you think it's for real?
Is what for real?
The offer. We get a castle and all we gotta do is do a podcast there? I mean, we're kinda out here already. I mean, it's a little late to ask this fucking question, but here we are.
I mean, maybe.
Hopefully we don't get raped.
Hopefully.
You know, we should have asked these questions before making this damn trip. Also probably should have referenced the Weather Channel.
Yeah, probably. Tired of being soaking wet today, Sean.
Captain Cool. Why can't nobody get this name right?
Tired of being soaking wet, Captain Cool.
There we go. I'm starting to think this is just a joke. I bet it's DJ. He probably put that little motherfucker put us up to this. Dr. Craven. Yeah, it's him.
Wait, what's that light over there?
Over where?
Over at that Frankenstein looking place.
How the hell did I miss that? Give me the map real quick. You're not gonna believe this. This is it. This is for real. This castle in the middle of fucking nowhere. This is it. We just found it. I just found it.
Oh yeah, even though I've had the map for the last 15 minutes.
We don't. Let's not. Let's just go to this castle. Alright, here we are. And no doorbells.
Captain Cool, I'm getting a really bad feeling about this place. This is the kind of place where there's like dead people in the basement and graveyards in the backyard.
Listen. As my many years of being a detective, if it taught me anything, then it's trust my instincts. My instincts say my underwear is soaked. We're going in. This place is okay. Trust my judgment. This place is going to do just fine by us. That doesn't mean a thing. That That just happens sometimes. Go to the dentist office, creepy lightning, creepy organ music starts playing out of nowhere. That happens there too.
I've never had this happen, Captain Cool.
Okay, well, let's go. Oh look, automatic doors. And you were worried.
Automatic doors wouldn't be on an old castle.
Well, you know what? You stay out here in the rain. I'll be indoors kicking it like Dr. Dre.
I don't even want to begin to imagine how many spiderwebs are in that place.
7.
Can we just leave?
No. We'll stay a few hours. If we don't like it, we can go. It's alright.
Okay.
Man, this place is big.
And creepy as fuck.
And free, you ungrateful little shit. You know how much rent is?
Yeah, I do. And I feel like this place wouldn't be worth it.
All we gotta do is do a horror podcast for this guy. And then that's all we gotta do. And we get this fucking castle. I mean, everything's gonna be alright.
This place could definitely use some elbow grease.
I'm gonna spank it there. I'm gonna spank it over on that couch.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry. Were you saying something?
We're not spanking it anywhere in here. This place is unsanitary.
Okay, well, you say that now. Oh, what's this? It's a note. It's from Dr. Craven.
What's it say?
Well, let's see here. Well, it looks like for the first couple episodes, he wants us to do a whole series on Frankenstein. Alright, and then he'll contact us once he got a new project for us.
Oh,
okay.
Alright, let's get our stuff unpacked and start this podcast.
Sounds good, cornbread. Sounds good, Pop-Tart. Alright, sounds good, Butt Muffin. Let's get unpacked. Hello. What you are about to hear may be too scary for some viewers. Maybe shouldn't be listened to by kids or elderly with a faint heart. Or if you're 20 and you're all emo and shit, don't listen to it. You might not be able to handle it. Now, if you think you're tough enough and brave enough to survive this podcast, then be my guest. But I have warned you. So enjoy! This is our new podcast. It's called Fears Are Us. Alright, we're here. We just got changed into some warm clothes and everything's fine. And this is our first debut episode of Fears Are Us. And as Dr. Craven told us to do, our very first chapter is going to be on Frankenstein. So this is chapter 1, Birth of a Monster. And I am your host, the Prince of all podcasters, Captain Cool. And I am with my girlfriend, the Princess of Cornbread, Mary. So what are your thoughts on Frankenstein, the character in general?
I really like the story of Frankenstein. It's like extremely interesting to me, and I am a lot more sympathetic with the monster than with the humans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause like in every single Frankenstein movie I've seen, they just treat the monster like shit, and he didn't do anything.
How dare you be created by me? How dare you?
Yeah. And I don't know, he just reminds me of a little kid that's being abused, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So
Just a freakishly strong kid.
yeah, that's what he reminds me of.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So, do you remember the first time you ever seen or heard about this character, or is it like too far in your memory you can't remember?
I was really young. I don't even remember how old I was when I heard about this. I started getting really, really into it though in like 8th or 9th grade.
Yeah.
So
I remember in like, I had been like 6th grade. My parents bought me a bunch of books about classic stories, and there were like Three Musketeers, Sleepy Hollow, Ichabod. We know that is part of Sleepy Hollow. Rip Van Winkle, and Peter Pan was one of them, and one of them was Frankenstein, and that was always my favorite in this series of classic books. We're going to go to our first segment. It's called Horror News.
okay.
Not horror news. Horror news.
Horror.
Alright. The new documentary about the 1980s horror film Monster Squad is going to be called Wolfman's Got Nards.
What the fuck?
Yes. It's this new documentary coming out. It's about this movie, Monster Squad. Have you ever seen that movie?
Mm-hmm.
It's about like a group like Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman. I think like what's his name? The fish
I know what you're talking about, but
creature of the Black Lagoon.
Yes.
Him.
Yeah.
They're all like in a crew, and they're making a documentary about the movie.
Okay.
I didn't read up a whole lot on it, but I thought it was kind of cool that they're gonna call it that.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see this documentary. Alright.
Because of the word Nards?
Well, I mean, it just sounds like a really funny movie documentary, and I love documentary movies.
Okay.
Unlike you.
I hate documentaries.
I love them.
Unless it's about something I like really, really care about.
Yeah.
Like I watched the documentary about Nirvana.
Oh.
But other than that though, I don't really do documentaries.
Alright. Here's my next news related topic. There's going to be a new Nightmare on Elm Street reboot.
Ooh.
They were going to do a sequel to the first remake, but with horrible reviews, they just decided they're going to reboot it again. No cast so far. They just have David Leslie Johnson is going to be helping. He'll be helping write it. He helped write Orphan, Conjuring 2, Wrath of the Titans, and he wrote some episodes of Walking Dead. Alright, so what's your thoughts on this Nightmare on Elm Street reboot?
I hope it's better than the first reboot.
All they gotta do is like add character development.
Yes.
Because they had no character development in this one. Freddy didn't really make jokes. That was part of it. He knew their personalities. He make jokes about it, and he killed them with their personalities. Like that girl who was like anorexic. He like gave her all this food, and made her death all about food related. It's about her personality. And then there's from the third one, the girl who wanted wanted to be a TV actress. He like slammed her head through the TV. He's like, "Welcome to prime time, bitch." And it's about their personalities. And this one, they're just like, we'll just cut them up.
Yeah. Do you remember that the deaf kid? And he was like pretending to be the kid's mom, and he was like, "You don't listen to anything I say. I think you need your ears cleaned." And he had that long ass Q-tip and shoved it straight through his head.
Yeah.
That one freaked me out a little bit.
Yeah. So you gonna go see this movie?
I'd like to, yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna go. Who do you think would be a good Robert? Not Robert. No one's gonna play. Who do you think's gonna make a good Freddy Krueger?
Robert Englund. He's like.
But I think he's already said he's like too old to do it.
Yeah, he's too old. But like, I don't know. He's like the only one I can really see as Freddy. He's so perfect for that role.
Yeah. I think they could get another one to do it pretty decently. Someone who could be like scary and charming at the same time.
Yeah. You know what would be really cool?
What?
The guy who played Jigsaw.
The old guy?
Yeah, but he's not as old as Robert.
Never mind. We're not gonna talk about this anymore. You done goofed.
You know who else I could get?
Who?
Johnny Depp.
You think Johnny Depp could play anybody?
Johnny Depp could play anybody.
I mean, okay, I think he could kill it, but I mean, I don't know if they could get him to do it. I mean, maybe out of respect, since that was like his first big break, but they like to make sequels of stuff. Could you see him keep sequeling this shit with him?
I don't know, because most of the stuff he has been in was just a one.
With the exception of like the 7 Pirates of the Caribbean.
Well, yeah, that was the only thing that had sequels that he was in that I can think of.
Alice in Wonderland.
Oh yeah, but even then there was only 2.
And yeah, that's almost 2 I have to think of right now.
Yeah.
So last thing on the news today, there's going to be a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. No one is casted yet, but it will be directed and written by Chris Columbus. He directed Pixels, Home Alone, and Home Alone 2, Mrs. Doubtfire, Harry Potter 1, 2, and 3, and he wrote Goonies and the Gremlins. So he's got like a big track record here.
Yeah.
Now, maybe a lot of people didn't like Pixels, but everything else was really... I like Pixels, but anyway.
I've never seen Pickles.
Not Pickles, Pixels.
Pixels. Shut up. My tongue did weird things. So, like, I don't understand why they're making video games into movies now.
Why not? Money. Some are good, though. They've made good video game movies. If they do it right, I don't see a problem with it.
Well, like, they made a Minecraft movie, and now they're making Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
Well, okay, let's think about it. To be fair, back in the day, all they did was make movies into video games. Video games is just being like, hey, when's our time? Well, we make games for you. Make movies for us.
Yeah.
And then movies sarcastically made Super Mario Brothers, and then they took a break for years and years, and they still haven't really done it right. I'm sure there's very good game movies out there. Now, personally, I can't think of one.
I mean, there may be, and maybe it'll be really good. But that game, personally, I didn't like it.
Oh, I never played
Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Like, it was really scary. I like scary stuff, but like that and Slender Man both got to me because
you're the
people chasing me is not my thing. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I have nightmares about it all the time. I don't like it. But I mean, maybe that's just me. Did they make a Slender Man movie?
they're coming out with one. Actually, I think this year. Now, the reason they haven't really been all over it is the guy actually has like a copyright to Slender Man. The guy who created it.
Oh, okay. I thought that Tall Man was supposed to be about
Oh, the movie,
Slender Man.
the
Yeah.
movie Tall Man. I did too, and it made it look like on the cover. I think that's a marketing thing. Like, hey, let's make it look like it's about Slender Man.
Yeah.
But like, you know, it's probably the monsters in the movie. I guess they're monsters. I don't know. The things in the movie, they want you to. I guess were probably highly inspired by Slender Man.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was just a marketing thing.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, if we make it look like Slender Man, people will buy it. And then that's the only reason I even looked at what it was. Like, oh, it looks like Slender Man.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be really cool, and I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
Because it was so awkward.
Well, everybody in the movie, I think that was the point. That's one of the themes of the movie. Like, everybody in the town was awkward. But we're not talking about that today. And we're going to our next segment. Oh! There seems to be a knock at the door. I'll go see who it is. What the fuck are you?
Excuse me, that's very rude.
Oh, sorry. Who the fuck are you?
Is that how you treat your guests?
I never claimed you as a guest. You just knocked at my door. Don't mean you're a guest. What can I do you for?
I heard a rumor.
You heard a rumor?
I heard a rumor that you guys were going to do fix about Dr. Frankenstein.
You say fix?
Fix.
Why don't you come inside? I don't know why I'm inviting you in, but I'm going to invite you in.
Okay, thanks.
You need something to drink, dude?
Do you guys have any Fresca?
No.
You guys have any Tab?
No.
Do you guys have any Berry Fanta?
I got grape, Kool-Aid, and Sprite.
I'll take a Sprite.
Alright. So, you got some facts on Dr. Frankenstein, huh?
Yes.
Now, can I ask you some questions before you throw out some facts?
Sure.
You look a lot like Igor.
The fuck's an Igor?
That's what I asked.
My name is Edgar.
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 Yeah.
Not Igor.
Okay. So you are Igor, just...
No, I'm Edgar.
Okay.
Not Igor.
So you're not the hunchbacked, ugly motherfucker that works for Dr. Frankenstein.
That is very, very insensitive that you would think.
Well, it's not to you, right? So we could talk shit about this guy, right?
No, but it's like you just compared me to him. You literally just said, oh, that hunch on your back, but you're not the fucker who works for Dr. Frankenstein. You basically just said, oh, you're ugly as shit, but you're not the ugly guy I was thinking about.
I guess I did do that, didn't I? Alright, so you got facts for us about Dr. Frankenstein, correct?
I don't have any fags. I have facts.
Oh.
Facts. It's the C and the T. Those are part of it.
Okay. Well, let's hear some.
This one time, this is Dr. Frankenstein, not Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
That piece of shit
You
thinks he runs the place.
You don't like him?
Oh, no.
You don't know him though, right? Because you don't work there.
Igor doesn't like him.
Yes.
That's my cousin.
That's your cousin.
Yeah,
no
see,
shit.
See, when you said I was ugly like Igor,
Yeah.
he's the ugliest in the family.
Are you two or like?
Out of the whole family.
I know. Are you number two?
No, Jesus, you asshole.
I was just
I'm the
curious.
prettiest. the prettiest of the
Yeah,
family.
okay.
The sexiest.
The sexiest.
I get the most poon. Of course, with scoliosis, it's kind of weird because you go in one way, but then your dick shoots left. It's like a maze down there.
Yeah. Well, why doesn't your cousin Igor? What's his problem with the monster of Frankenstein?
The monster of Frankenstein, right? So, Frankenstein, the doctor, he decides, oh, I want to take a bunch of dead bodies and sew them together.
You helped him, right? You helped him get
Yes,
these bodies.
Of course. I went out, I killed a few people, I dug up a few graves.
Oh, fuck.
No, not me. My cousin Edgar. God damn it.
Well,
I'm Edgar. My cousin Igor.
just explain that to the cops after they hear this.
No, no need to. Police?
Yeah.
What?
They probably listen.
Yeah. Igor's black. I'm not. So
Okay.
he'll definitely get the X on that one.
Okay. Yeah. So, all right.
So he decides he wants to take and make this creature. He wants to make something better than humans. He wants to make life. He create life. He wants to be God.
Yeah.
He is like a god. What amazing man. Hung like a...
Don't drool on my fucking floor, please.
yes. And so, he starts taking all these pieces, putting them on the monster, and he puts together like a puzzle, and sews it, creates it, shocks it, brings it to life. And it's just a total dick. Like, he took all the asshole parts from all the asshole people in the whole entire village. He's like, you ever watch South Park?
Yeah.
You know PC Principal?
Yeah.
He's totally like that dude. Total dick.
So is that why Igor in the movies is always beating and whipping the Frankenstein's monster?
Yes. Like, off camera, you don't see this stuff, but I swear to God, every time Igor is around the monster's like, hey, faggot, what are you doing, faggot? You've got a little dick, faggot. He's so mean to Igor. So Igor, he takes the whip, and of course somebody's like, oh, that dude's got a whip. We better record this shit. Like World Star, just starts slapping the shit out of this bitch. Oh.
Let me ask you something. Is it possible Igor is just jealous?
No. Igor, what does he have to be jealous of?
Well, the doctor's given all his attention to the monster and not Igor.
Igor doesn't need the doctor's attention.
It sounds like he does.
No, Igor's not like that.
Alright.
Igor's into chicks. He wants to bone chicks.
Yeah.
In fact, Igor saw Frankenstein's his wife. Igor popped a little bit of a boner.
Okay.
Just a tiny bit, because she was dead and it was to be creepy. But,
Yeah.
little bit of a boner. She has huge boobs.
Alright.
I've seen them. Edgar, me.
Okay.
I've seen them.
It's starting to get awkward. Alright.
No, it's not. It's not the
I tell you what, if we sit there for a
It's just
minute,
necrophilia.
sit in the chair in the corner. We're gonna finish this podcast up, and then we'll talk to you later.
Just got to sit in this corner.
Yeah,
I thought you wanted some facts. I'm over here. Okay.
we'll get some here later.
All right.
All right.
I do that.
Now it's time for our next segment, Dark Biographies. Alright, now explain. This is your segment, so explain what this is about.
Okay, so this is going to be biographies of famous figures that were related to whatever we're talking about that week. So, this one's about Frankenstein, and this biography is one of the men that inspired Mary Shelley to write Frankenstein because of his history. So,
Alright. What's his person's name?
his name is Luigi Galfani. He was born September 9th, 1737. Died December 4th, 1798.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, they know he's dead at this point.
Okay.
He was age 61 at death. So, alright, he was born in Bologna, Italy. In his early days, he wanted to join the church. At 15, he joined the religious institution Ordine dei Padri Filippini.
Oh, yeah.
It's in Italian. It's in Italian.
I know those guys.
Shut up. He planned to take religious vows, but his parents convinced him not to. Instead, he took a scientific road, and in 1755, at age 18, he entered the Faculty of the Arts at the University of Bologna.
You sure it's not baloney?
Why would they call it Bologna, though?
It's-
I think that's an Americanized
Oh.
thing.
So he's not from Bologna.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I feel like bologna is like an Americanized thing.
Okay. Yeah, alright. Alright, continue.
Okay, sorry. He attended the 4-year medicine course, studying the works of Hippocrates, Galen, and Avicenna. He also studied surgery, which tied into his later experiments in bioelectricity.
For a minute, when you said surgery, I thought you were going to do like that song from Repo.
It's surgery.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay. I love that movie.
Alright, let's go.
We should watch that. Okay. Galvani graduated in 1759 with degrees in medicine and philosophy, after which he applied to be a lecturer at the university. He was accepted, and in 1762 completed his thesis De Ossibus.
De Ossibus.
Yeah.
Sounds like a metal band.
He married Lucia Galeazzi.
Gay lazy?
Well, it's spelled Galeazzi, and I know I butchered the shit out of that. She was the daughter of one of his professors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sleeping his way to the top, I see.
Yeah. In 1772, he became the president of his university. He began his experiments in electrophysiology in the late 1770s after acquiring an electrostatic machine and a Leyden jar, which is a device used to store static electricity. He focused specifically on muscular stimulation with electricity. He was credited with many ingenious observations and experiments, such as the famous making a frog have contractions by touching it with electricity.
Oh, so like a dead frog and he'd touch it with... Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that came up with that.
Oh. So he's a fucking weirdo.
Yeah. His method of achieving that was he had it like splayed out, and he had like almost like jumper cables attached to a pair of scissors,
Yeah.
and was like jabbing the frog with it.
Yeah, I bet he had like no idea what he's doing. He was just being like a fucking freak that day.
Yeah. He also elicited the twitching without the help of his electrostatic machine by pressing a copper hook into the frog's spinal cord and hanging the hook on an iron railing.
Oh.
Because the two different metals created electricity, like an electric pulse. Galvani delayed the announcement of his findings, however, until 1791, and he published them in his essay called Commentary on the Effect of Electricity on Muscular Motion. I found the English translation of the title of that one.
Okay.
In it, he concluded that all animal tissue contains an innate vital force, which he called animal electricity. It activates nerves and muscles when touched by metal probes.
Okay.
It makes you move around and stuff.
Seems like some shit aliens do to humans when they adopt them.
A lot of his experiments sound really similar to what we know about aliens. It's really weird. In his experiments, he discovered an electric fluid, quote unquote, that organs secrete when exposed to the electricity. And he said that the brain creates like the most concentrated form of it. This discovery was a source of great controversy between him and one of his peers in the field, Mr. Alessandro Volta.
He sounds like a douchebag.
He didn't buy any of his ideas on animal electricity and instead suggested that the contractions came from the different types of metals causing electric charges. And he called it metallic electricity. Later, they were both deemed partly wrong and partly right. Galvani was correct in attributing the muscle contractions to an electrical stimulus, but was wrong in his identifying that it was an animal electricity. Volta denied the existence of the animal electricity, but was wrong in his implication that every electrophysiological effect requires two different metals as sources of current. Being more on the quiet side, he didn't like people very much, and he shrunk away from the controversy to continue his work as a teacher and a surgeon and an obstetrician.
And a plumber.
Well, people back then, they just kind of dabbled in everything. In 1794, he offered more defense on his position in his book on the use and activity of the conductive arch in the contraction of muscles. I don't know why everyone back then had long-ass book titles. He talks of one of his experiments where he got a muscle contraction without the need of any metal or external electricity at all. He touched the exposed muscle of one frog to the nerve endings of another and got it to move. And that confirmed in his mind the bioelectric forces in living tissue. Sometime during these experiments, his wife died at the age of 47, and they had no children. In his final years, Galvani refused to swear allegiance to the new Cisalpine Republic, which was established by Napoleon, and therefore was dropped from the university faculty, and his salary was terminated. He became depressed, but refused to accept help from any of his colleagues or anything like that, and he eventually moved into his old house where he was born, and his brother was currently living in. Politicians soon recanted, letting him take his position back without swearing the oath, but the stress of the whole situation wore on him, and he died in his family home, and he is 61. He died on December 4th, 1798.
I remember that.
From when I first started?
Yeah.
He died when the world was just on the edge of this great electrical revolution, so, like, his work kind of helped out with that kind of stuff, although it kind of sucks that he died right before it happened.
Now that he's gone, let's actually...
Yeah. His old colleague Volta was inspired by Galvani's work and discovered a source of constant current electricity, the voltaic pile. Which is
shit.
No, that's what it was called, the voltaic pile, which is essentially a battery. Galvani opened all kinds of doors into the study of electrophysiology.
So how do you think he inspired Mary Shelley?
Well, she heard all kinds of stories about this guy and another guy that I've done some research on that we'll talk about at another
Okay, so
time.
you think it's like the electricity and the dead combination and making a move?
Yeah. And she probably like read his medical journals and stuff, and read all of his experiments and stuff, and got inspired by that.
I wrote some facts on our boy Frankenstein. Now this is mostly based, these facts right here are mostly for the movie, the 1931 version of the movie and the book. Alright.
Okay.
Fact number 1. Frankenstein is a German name that means Stone of the Franks.
Okay.
Fact number 2. When Mary Shelley was young, she visited a place called Castle Frankenstein. While there, she learned about an unbalanced chemist named Conrad Dippel, who used to live in the castle. Conrad tried to create an elixir called Dippel's Oil, which would make people live hundreds of years. He was also rumored to dig up bodies and experiment on them. Another big influence on her life.
Yeah, that's probably where she got the name Frankenstein.
Well, almost 100% probably. Alright, number 3. In 1910, Thomas Edison made a one-reel 15-minute film of Frankenstein.
15 minutes?
Well, I mean, you gotta think, that was probably like... That was a whole 20 years before this movie. That was probably like birth time of the movies.
I imagine it was probably silent too. Because, like, at one point you couldn't have sound in movies.
Yeah, probably was. There's actually, you could still find it online.
We should look it up.
Yeah.
Talk about it on the next episode or something.
Yeah. Alright. Number 4. The book was originally bashed by critics.
Really?
Yes. But they're like snobs, like, oh, how dreadful. Stuff like that. But like at the time, Gothic horror was really big. And, you know, it boomed in popularity.
Yeah.
So that's why it's, you know, it's still huge today.
Yeah.
Number 5. The monster in the movie is nothing like the book. Everything the monster looks like is because of the makeup artist Jack P. Pierce, which is still being copied today. The makeup design is under copyright to Universal Studios until 2026. Number 6. A unique 6-sheet poster for this film showing the monster mincing May Clark is worth at least $600,000. One of the most valuable movie posters today. Number 7. The movie, the 1931 Frankenstein movie, technically not considered a horror film because the genre term didn't exist until 1934.
So what did they consider it until then?
Drama?
Drama.
I assume a drama. Our last fact. The movie was the top movie in the U.S. box office for 1931. Huh. I like your banter with me. Cool.
I like your facts. I'm just listening to you. I'm sorry.
Alright. Let's talk, before we do our movie review, let me give everybody a little description of the movie. We're doing Frankenstein, the 1931 version. It came out, 1931, or I like to call it 8BB, 8 years before Batman. It's my timeline of history.
Are you serious?
Yes. A lot of people just adore this movie. Rotten Tomatoes, they give it 100% on there. But I think Rotten Tomatoes like to dick right anything old. That way they look, what's the word?
Sophisticated?
Distinguished? Distinguished.
Yes.
Yes, they like to think, oh, we know about movies, so they give any classic movie 100. They're just dick riding.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give 100%, no. But I still liked it.
Yeah.
But before we get to that, we have one more segment.
Okay.
And it's called Horror on the Small Screen. Not horse. Horror. Horror. Not horrors on the small screen. Alright.
We're not talking about phone porn.
Nope. We're talking about horror on the small screen.
Okay.
Today, we're gonna talk. In this segment, we're gonna do like one episode from a TV show that is horror related. Now, it could be like an all scary show, or it could be like a regular show that had a scary episode on it. And for our first episode, we're gonna do Johnny Bravo, and the episode is Franken Bravo.
1, 2, 3. Play there. Sassy. Man, I'm pretty. Do the monkey with me. Come on. Hey there, baby. Yeah, whatever.
What'd you think about this?
It was okay.
It was okay.
It was okay.
It's Johnny Bravo.
I don't know, and I love Johnny Bravo. It's just, like, the way they portrayed the Frankenstein's bride
Yeah.
after they got married. Like,
Oh.
they made her into a complete fucking psycho, and I'm like, not all women get like that after you get married.
Well, it was for a punchline.
I know.
They had a lot of homages to the Frankenstein. Like at the end, the windmill, like it was in the original movie, where at the end of it was at a windmill,
Yeah.
and they end up burning it to the ground. Well, actually, I think this one they just collapsed the windmill.
Yeah.
But I like that. And then a lot of the characteristics from Dr. Frankenstein and Igor were like in the movie. Like Igor wanted to abuse Johnny because Johnny's supposed to be Frankenstein, of course. And then a lot of the look of Dr. Frankenstein looked like he did in the original movie too. And then you got Pops, but as the blind guy, which I think is from the more of the book
Yeah.
version than the. Because I don't think there's a blind guy in the movie, was there?
In the original one, no.
Yeah.
There is a blind guy in the one of the other
Ones.
the ones that I picked that we're going to be talking about
Yeah.
soon. But I'd like to point out that like he broke into Dr. Frankenstein's house and then just started pressing buttons and shit
He didn't break in.
or whatever.
Igor let him in. And he knocked on the door properly.
Oh, okay. But like
And then he fucked up the place.
he went and pressed all the buttons, pulled all the levers. Like, why would you go into some random person's house and fuck up their shit?
He also ate the doctor's burrito without asking.
Yeah.
But then again, he is a moron, so... I also want to point out that the Dr. Frankenstein, which in the credits they called him Dr. F, was played by legendary voice actor Billy West. You might know Billy. He played Stimpy in Ren and Stimpy. He played Fry from Futurama. And he's done hundreds and hundreds of voices. I thought his voice in this one sounded a lot like the professor from Futurama. Did you ever watch Futurama a lot? Nope. Okay, well, like his professor voice sounded a lot like the Dr. F in this cartoon.
Yeah.
So any other notes you had for this?
I had one here. Like I forgot how much he flirted with people.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I guess as a kid I like blocked that kind of stuff out,
Yeah.
kind of. But like he was flirting with everybody, even a dead woman. I was
Yeah,
like, I didn't realize you were a necrophiliac.
But to be fair, he was so desperate. He's like, I'm going to remove your brain and put bolts in your neck to be with her. And Johnny's like, yeah, okay. Yeah. He's so desperate. He's like, yeah, that's fine by me.
Do you think he just hasn't gotten laid in a while, and he's just
I think he's unfortunate enough to be in the 90s, because I think if he came out this day and age, he would get mad sex, mad poo-tang. 'Cause women this time of era doesn't really care about brains. They're like, oh, okay, sure. So I'm sure if he would thrive now.
Yeah.
But he's in the 90s and early 2000s, so he's I guess but it's also funnier him getting rejected.
Yeah.
like that. But he had some really good jokes in this one. Like at one point, like he like hold the Bride of Frankenstein. I guess that's what she is. He held her in his arms, and she goes. He goes, oh, I guess it means I love you or something.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Alright, so what are you gonna rate this?
I'll give it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah. It was really short.
Yeah, it's Johnny Bravo. There's like 3 little shorts in each episode, usually.
Oh, I didn't know there were 3.
Yeah.
I thought there was 2, like SpongeBob.
No, they usually do 3 on Johnny Bravo.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there might be 1 or 2 where there's 2, but for the most part, they like to do 3.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 7 as well. I think it was, it's too short for me to like, oh my god, this was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
But it was still good. I enjoyed it. I laughed my ass off, and it took us an hour to find.
Yeah.
I legit looked all over my house for Johnny Bravo season 1, and it took me almost 2 hours to find it. Then, when I looked at it, I realized, fuck me, it is not on this DVD. And then I looked it up online, it's on season 3. But luckily, I did have the episode on DVD. It was on the Cartoon Network Halloween 2, Grossest Halloween Ever. I had the episode, luckily. And a couple episodes on here. And I'm thinking, like, maybe for the next couple episodes, we might check some of these other ones out. It's a whole horror-based DVD of Cartoon Network shows. We got Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Kids Next Door, Courage is on here, Ed and Eddie, Dexter's Lab, Powerpuff Girls, and I Am Weasel.
Oh.
So they got some good stuff on this DVD. And I knew I had it this episode, and I thought for sure it was on Johnny Bravo. And I looked at all the episodes on the episode list. I'm like, no, it's on here somewhere, but I found it.
Yeah. It took us forever.
All right.
I told him multiple times. I was like, "Hey, we can just Google it." And he's like, "It wasn't on YouTube." And I'm like, "That's not the same thing."
It is.
It's not the same.
It's not on YouTube. It's not on canon. All right. It's now time for tonight's motion feature review. Today we're doing Frankenstein 1931.
Woo.
Alright. So I liked about this, in the opening credits, the monster was casted as question mark.
You liked that about it?
That's kind of cool, like kind of like realism. Kayfabe for the horror fans.
What?
Kayfabe.
What does that mean?
It's a wrestling term. I don't know if it's wrestling invented it, but like in wrestling, kayfabe is like staying true to your character.
Oh, okay.
Not paying like a lot of times. Okay, like for instance, like wrestlers would. If you're a bad guy, you travel with the bad guys because you're sticking with kayfabe. If you're a good guy, you travel with the good guys.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
That was one of my complaints.
Really?
Yeah, until they got to the end, and they named him at the end.
Yeah, at the end they're like, oh, Boris Karloff
Yeah.
is Frankenstein.
But after they gave him credit, I was like, okay, that's not so bad.
On my notes, I had Dr. Frankenstein as Victor, but actually his name was like Henry.
Yeah, that was another one of my complaints, because in the story, in the original story, his name's Victor.
Now, I think they switched it, because I think they said in the book Hector was the hunchback guy and Victor was the doctor, but they flipped the names around in the movie because they wanted to I guess the word is Americanize it, like Henry can't be Henry's more of a, I guess they're trying to say like a common name, I guess is what they want, but they flipped it in the movie.
Yeah, I feel like Victor's more European than Henry, but
like they were in Poland, and the movie took place in Poland, did it not?
Yeah.
So what? I mean, wouldn't it made more sense to go with Victor?
I don't know. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't like that change
but
at all.
I like in the very opening scene, they're at like a burial, like someone died, and they're at a funeral. They waited like 5 seconds to dig that motherfucker out of the grave. Like, those motherfuckers ain't got to their damn car yet. They're like still in the parking lot, and he's like, "Alright, let's go."
Were there even cars, though?
I don't think there was cars, but in my head, they're like, "Damn, man, let him at least get home before you dig the motherfucker up, right?"
Yeah.
They could like, "Oh wait, I forgot something,"
Yeah.
come right back.
Yeah. And also, there was a, I pointed this out when we were watching it, but
Yeah.
there was a skeleton, like, Grim Reaper type figure in the cemetery. And I'm like,
Like as a tombstone?
it was like a statue. And I was like, that would not be in a real cemetery. They're always like angels or something
Yeah.
like that. It wouldn't be a damn Grim Reaper. I don't know.
I don't know. If I'm ever rich and I can... Well, I always wanted mausoleum. Is that the word?
Mausoleum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As my tombstone.
Yeah.
And like, I have nice and cold. I like air conditioning. I think even when I'm dead, I'd want air conditioning.
You're not going to care when you're dead.
But I might. And if not, if I'm going to be buried, I would like a badass statue of the Grim Reaper, like doing the rock on sign and like, tongue out. Like, like, that'd be so cool.
I suppose you could like custom order it, but in general, Grim Reaper's not going to be in the cemetery.
Alright.
I'd like to point out that I don't know what they named him in this movie, but Frankenstein's assistant.
It's Victor in the movie, I'm pretty sure.
No, that was like his brother or something like that.
Was it?
Yeah.
Alright.
We'll
call him Igor.
Yeah, we'll call him Igor.
They didn't call him Igor, but we're calling him Igor.
Yeah, we'll just say Igor for the rest of this. He was an idiot and an asshole.
He was an asshole.
Like, with the torch, yeah.
He like personally torturing Frankenstein. And then like, why is he killing people? I don't know. Hunchback boys over there just hitting them with the fucking torch.
Yeah. And like, he didn't do anything wrong, and the guy just comes up with the torch and like,
yeah.
And he's also an idiot, because like, the Dr. Frankenstein sent him to get a brain, and he dropped the first one for
he
no
dropped,
reason.
What was it? Abnormal brain, and then like he ended up getting the criminal brain.
Yeah, he dropped the normal one.
Abnormal, I think.
I thought one was normal, one was abnormal.
I think. No, one was criminal, one was abnormal.
Oh, okay.
I think. Shit, should have wrote that down. Anyway.
I thought one said normal, one said abnormal. I could be wrong.
Okay.
But I know that he dropped the better one.
Yeah.
For like no reason, and then grabbed the bad brain.
Yeah. I can understand. There's a scene where he's trying to work, and like everybody in fucking Timbuktu comes down to like bangs on his door. It's like, dude, leave me alone. I'm working. And everybody's like, no, we must come in for reasons. And so they let him in, and then like he brings Frankenstein to life. Well, I mean, I was sitting there, I was like, see, I understand that. 'Cause sometimes, you want to work, and then, like, everybody wants to, ride your dick at that moment. Like, someone call you, hey, let's hang out, or, It's right when you're at your best work that everybody wants something from you.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that this is the only Frankenstein media that I've seen that like he wasn't like super secretive about what he was doing.
Yeah.
Like he was like, everybody come in.
Well,
You can see my work.
Well, I think he wasn't going to, because at first they're like, he's like, don't touch that. And then one guy caught him crazy. He goes, crazy? You wanna see crazy? I fucks with dead bodies. And then like brings it to life. I don't know why, but that got to him. Like, he was pissed. That guy caught him crazy.
I don't know.
And I like the first scene after Frankenstein's brought to life, and the doctor comes back to revisit. Fucking what's his name? Henry.
Yeah.
We'll call him Dr. Frankenstein for fucking convenience. I'm tired of calling him Henry. So the doctor comes to see Henry, right?
Yeah.
And they're talking about Frankenstein. He goes, "You should kill it." And he goes, "Nah, it's cool." And then you hear Frankenstein coming. He goes, "Shush, shush, shush, shush." He's coming. And like a G, Frankenstein fucking moonwalks his ass in the room. He might not have done it properly, but for a guy who's 1 or 2 days old, he moonwalked his ass first. He goes, "This is my on-screen debut, and I'm gonna moonwalk in it." And then on my here, I got Igor's a dick. And then right after I wrote Igor's a dick, he got killed off.
Yeah, I was really happy when they killed him off.
Yeah. And, let's see. Baron Frankenstein, which is Dr. Frankenstein's dad, is a dick. But at the same time, I thought he was really cool. I really liked him. He was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And
I was of the same opinion.
Yeah. So, and then you get to the scene of the little girl, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, you notice in the scene, she's holding a cat, and she was, like, fucking choking the shit out of this cat. You just look at the cat's face the entire time. Cat's like, "Ah, get off me!"
Let me go!
Yeah. Go back and watch it, and just watch the cat. The cat is so fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
And,
I hadn't noticed it until you said something when we
Yeah.
were watching it, and I was like, oh my god.
yeah.
That's she
At one point, she just fucking dropped the cat, and then you never see it again.
Yeah, probably got the fuck out of there. It was like, help me!
This cat's like, "I am not made for showbiz." And got the fuck out.
One of those prima donna type
Yeah.
cats. I wonder if they only filmed that once and then like lost the cat and they were like, well, I guess we're going with the first take.
Well, I mean, the girl died 5 minutes later, so I guess they didn't have a point in it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of dumb, like, well, so, the little girl, right? And I was just gonna say, like, to be fair, Frankenstein, he threw that bitch in 5 inches of water and she drowned. Like, does she deserve to live? Because he didn't throw her far. Like, he threw about 5 inches in.
Yeah. If she couldn't stand up, like, unless it was a ridiculous drop off and
Yeah.
she couldn't swim, but it was like a normal lake.
Yeah.
And normal lakes just go in gradually.
I actually read online that they had to do that scene so many times and she kept somehow not doing it right. I guess she was supposed to sink and not come up for a little bit. I don't know, but I kept reading like she kept fucking up, and then the director's like, "If you nail this, I'll give you whatever you want." And she asked for like a dozen, I think, deviled eggs.
What?
Because that's like her favorite food. And he gave her like 24. He doubled it.
Damn.
I was like, what a loser child. Like, you could have anything. Deviled eggs! Thank you. Like,
Oh my god, that's great.
not action figures, not dollies, not a bicycle, deviled eggs.
It was really awkward the way he was like holding her
Yeah.
in the final one that made it into the movie. He was holding her in a really awkward way, so it's probably because he was tired of doing it.
Yeah, I think the last shot they did is the one that made it.
Yeah.
So she's probably getting fucking tired of throwing into a little lake.
Yeah. I feel like the acting in this movie was like really over exaggerated.
My favorite part of acting was when Dr. Frankenstein was like, "It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!" That's like my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, but that's like iconic. Even if you've never seen the movie, you've seen that scene.
He didn't know that.
I know, but okay, that one was good, but like mostly everything else was over exaggerated and weird.
Yeah, but that's any movie in that time frame. Like even
Yeah.
to like probably about the 60s.
Yeah.
Like I guess they all learned to act in the 60s.
Yeah. Because like before the 60s, like it didn't feel like real life. It felt like acting.
Oh yeah.
And like movies nowadays, it feels like you're just watching someone's life happen.
Yeah.
And it's so
But
good.
I mean, to be fair, they've had decades to work on it. Back then, like this is all new.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of give them like a okay on it. Like, this is new for you, you know.
Yeah.
That's fine. But now, like, you know, we've got millions of movies to watch. So, like, we have tons of people to study from. Back then, you know, you just didn't have that.
Yeah.
And, you know, you don't have DVDs, VHSs. You got what's out, and then, you know.
But at the same time, there's been like drama plays and shit since like the beginning of time. No, like
Me, Gunga.
like Shakespeare and like ancient Rome. They all had drama. They didn't. Yeah, they didn't have necessarily movies, but
Yeah.
plays and shit.
Well, we don't know. We can't vouch for that because we weren't there. We don't know if it was any good. They could have been like.
But I'm saying, like, they could have had a little bit of practice. A little bit of knowledge, anyway. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Alright, let's go. Let's move on. I'll also put my notes that in Frankenstein's defense, she could have been a witch because witches do not float, they only sink.
Yeah.
So she could have been a witch. He could have saved the town. He could have saved the town, you know.
Yeah.
She could have been a witch. Bitch didn't float.
Well, I'd like to point out that just because someone doesn't float doesn't mean they're automatically a witch.
Well, according to the witch trials, it does.
Yeah, but the witch trials were, like, bigoted, you know, Puritan people that, like, didn't accept fucking birthmarks.
So after that, Frankenstein
And
travels.
left-handedness. Sorry.
Frankenstein travels back to Dr. Frankenstein's place. I guess he's not Frankenstein. I guess it's the monster.
Yeah, his name's actually the monster, but for
you know,
convenience.
Everybody calls him Frankenstein. You know, just get with the fucking program. Don't be that snob who goes, technically, it's the monster. Like, just, you know, get with the program.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Captain Marvel. Everybody calls him Shazam. But he's technically Captain Marvel, but everybody calls him Shazam because that's what he says when he turns to his super self.
Yeah.
Anyway, so next
when we first started this, I was gonna point it out, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna be that person, because like I've called him Frankenstein before too.
Yeah, and a lot of times they do call him Frankenstein in movies.
Yeah.
All right, so the next scene, he goes back to Dr. Frankenstein's place where he's got married. And he figures out that the monster is there, and he goes, and the wife's like, his new wife is like, oh, please don't leave me here. He goes, all right, I'll be right back. And then he locks the bitch in, and then they run around the house looking for it. And I like to point out that like a monster that's like a week old outsmarted everyone in the house, like people who are like super smart because they're bringing back dead people. Some of them are doctors, you know.
Yeah.
Outsmarted them all.
Yeah.
And just I like to point that out, like how fucking stupid they are. And then after he like, what did he do to the wife? Like she was just laid over the bed, like, oh my god, like what the fuck did he do to her?
Well, my brain automatically goes to sexual things, but he probably didn't. He probably just like hit her or something, and then like when she screamed, he was like, oh shit, let's run, because they'll be coming soon.
Yeah.
You know?
He's going really slow after her, so I'm thinking, like, how could she not outrun that? But, you know.
Well, she was locked in that room.
The window was open.
She can't climb through a window in a wedding dress?
You can. If a monster's after you, you can.
Okay.
Alright, so after that, the chief of police.
Plus, she had like a 20-foot train or veil. Like, she had all kinds of crazy shit on. I don't know.
Is it like it's not like strapped to her skin where she can never remove it?
Maybe she didn't think about the window. Maybe she was just like, "Oh no, the door's locked. Let's run around in circles in this room."
That's why he locked her in the room. He goes, "This bitch too dumb to survive. I'm gonna have to lock her in this room." Anyway, she'll trip down the stairs. She don't know how to take the dress off. All right, so
It's her wedding day. She don't want to take it off.
all right,
Anyway, sorry.
So the chief of police gets the bright idea to start get like everybody in town to start a mob. So I guess they're all gonna hunt down this guy, and they don't know really what they're looking for because none of them seen it. They're just hunting something down, and after they find out that the little girl drowned in 5 inches of water, how did he know it was Frankenstein? That's what I don't get.
Yeah, I don't know either. She could have fucking fallen in.
Well, God, yeah, he know. I mean, surely he knows her swimming abilities. How does she How does she shower? Like, she'd drown in be like 1 inch of water in there and be like a damn fish out of water.
Yeah, I don't understand how he automatically came to that conclusion either.
Maybe he's like a detective who just dresses like a stupid hick farmer.
I doubt it. But anyway.
So the chief of police gets the idea to start a mob, and they start looking for Frankenstein. And then finally, of course, Dr. Frankenstein's the one who finds him. And he gets fucked up by Frankenstein a little bit. And then he runs off to this little windmill. I like to point out, that at the final scene, right? They're fighting on top of the windmill. Frankenstein picks up Dr. Frankenstein, right? Throws him off the windmill. He gets hit by a windmill fan. Falls 30, 40 feet to the ground and survives. And a little girl can't survive 5-inch water throw.
Yeah.
Women in this movie were dumb as fuck.
Yeah. But then again, back in that time period,
Yeah.
I mean, men considered women to be dumb as fuck. We were just a means to make babies.
Sex machine, get in here!
And we cleaned their house. That was the role of women, was to make babies and clean the house. And make dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, nowadays we actually have valid opinions. But some of us...
That was a dumb opinion. Anyway.
What?
I just kidding. I was just fucking with you. Anyway.
He's so fucking rude to me, guys.
I just want to point out, that's one of the last things that happened, just picked up, thrown off a windmill, hit by the fan, still fell. I'm like, shit. Fuck. I don't think he could survive it, but he did.
Yeah, it looked a little weird because they used a dummy for it. Obviously, they used a dummy for it, but it looked really weird the way he fell
On the fan.
Yeah.
Well, if I could have a time machine, I'll go back in time. Listen, guys, Mary's not gonna like the way you're gonna do this. Can you just take one for the team? Mary's not gonna like the way you do it, and
I didn't say I didn't like I just said it looked a little weird. I didn't talk shit about it.
I'm not gonna give them shit for 1931 effects.
Yeah, I mean, it's understandable they didn't have as much to work with as we do.
Now, a lot of people say this is the greatest movie of all time. I could see. Okay, for me, I don't agree, but in that time frame of when movies were, I would say this is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah. I
really like it, and I still think it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, this is. I thought coming in, I didn't think it was going to be that good because I'm born in 1994. I'm like, oh boy, a 1931 movie. Oh boy, here we go. Woohoo! But it was actually good, and I enjoyed it. I still think it held up, and a lot better than what I expected.
Yeah, I liked it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Am I going to be dick riding like Rotten Tomatoes? No.
Yeah.
But I want to give it a good score. now I'm gonna like boost it up because of the time frame and of when it came out,
Yeah.
and so I'm gonna give it 8 screams out of 10. This is a rating system.
Okay.
It's just like Two Guys in the Dark, except we're saying screams.
Okay.
What are you gonna give it?
I'm going to also give it 8 screams.
All right. Well, Edgar. Oh shit, he's asleep. Wet Willie.
Okay, you got me. Frankenstein's monster, you fucking oh. I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're about to wrap up. I just want to see what you thought of, the Frankenstein 1931 movie, and what'd you think of the Franken Bravo?
I might have fell asleep during.
Oh, did you see the part where your cousin got hanged?
Yes, I did.
Did you cry a little bit?
No, it actually was very therapeutic for his back. When
Okay.
he got hanged like that,
Yeah.
it straightened a little bit out, you know.
Well, that's good. I'm glad he's still alive.
Also, from what I hear, it's a really good way to get off.
Don't.
Just from what I hear.
Are you into that?
Like I said, I hear these things.
You hear these things.
Maybe from
That's
I
dangerous.
mean, Igor said it was fun stuff. Fun time.
That's dangerous. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
I would never. Why would I do that? I
Yeah.
get all the chicks that are within my league. That's a very small league. There's
Unfortunately,
not a lot of women in this league.
unfortunately,
There's like 3.
it looks like.
One of them's related to me.
Oh God.
Can't say I didn't, but I didn't. Okay, though they did. I won't. Let's not talk about it.
Yeah. Well, it looks like you're
Fuck
gonna.
the
Okay.
shit out of her. I swear to God.
You remind me of my friend. He interrupts me all the time too.
He sounds like a total dick. Sounds like Frankenstein's monster.
He is. That's what I call him. Anyway.
Oh, he's talking about Dr. Frankenstein's huge dick, not
Oh,
the
that's
monster of Dr. Frankenstein. Sorry.
Well, unfortunately, it looks like he's going to be here a while, so he might pop up in the next few episodes. He looks like he wants to talk all about Dr. Frankenstein, and it looks like I'll have to get that information out of him next time.
I'm right here. You can talk to me now.
I said next time!
Oh, God, that sounds like a long time from now.
Alright, so we got a lot more to go into in this chapter 1, A Birth of a Monster, on all things, not all things Frankenstein, but we're going to just dive deep into Frankenstein. We're going to come back with more facts, more, information on this character, on this icon, on this just almost like birth of a franchise of what Frankenstein is. We're going to come back with more of this. And I hope you enjoyed it. We will be back for episode 2 of Fears Are Us.
Bye, guys.